So in this lecture we are going to cover topic called directors. Yes, first of all, what is the importance of the directors? Why directors are required, sir? Because of two reasons directors are very important today. The directors name itself suggests that directs, one who directs something. One who directs something, yes, directors, the role of directors is to direct the company. Is it clear? Now here the topic is the reasons why directors are important today. Because of two reasons. One is company being an artificial person, it can't do business on its own, and separation of ownership and management. See, owners are different and management is different. So owner will never participate in the management unless he is a director. So member directly in his membership capacity, he can't participate in the day-to-day activities of the company. So because of these two reasons, yes, director role is very important. So these two reasons laid down to this topic called directors. Yes, section 149, it mandates that every company should have directors. First of all, who is a director? Meaning is very simple. So one who direct company is known as director. But you know, under Companies Act there is a director definition. Under Companies Act there is a definition called director. So what is the definition, sir? A person who was designated or who was appointed to the board, we call him as a director. So you may ask, sir, what is the definition? Director is a person appointed to the board of a company. The reason is simply if you direct the company, you won't become a director. For example, general manager is there, finance manager is there. Definitely he will look after the financial matters in the company. General manager, he will look after all the affairs of the company, but they are not the directors. Director is a person, one who was sent to the board, one who was appointed to the board. So you may ask, sir, what is the board? Board is a composition of directors. Board is nothing but composition of directors. Okay, Nandi? So to that composition, yes, sir, if you appoint any person to that composition of the board, we call him as a director. So because of these three reasons, today director topic become important. Actually I said two, now I am saying three. What are the three reasons, sir? First one, company being an artificial person, it can't do activities on its own. Second one, separation of ownership and management. Third one, section 149 mandates every company to have directors. Now let's discuss about composition of the board. See, there will be minimum number of directors, maximum number of directors. So minimum how many directors, sir? Minimum how many directors will there? See here companies, I am classifying companies into some two types: private company, public company. Again I am classifying the private company into two types: OPC as well as other private companies. Now coming to minimum number of directors, OPC is 1, other private companies 2, public company 3. Minimum number of directors is 1, 2, 3. Coming to maximum number of directors, yes, in all the cases maximum number of directors is 15. So maximum number of directors is 15. Here the role of AOA is also important. By passing special resolution, you can alter the articles of association and you can increase the number 15 to whatever number you want. You can increase this number 15 to the next number, so 16, 17, 18, you can increase it. But you know, by altering articles of association, you cannot restrict the minimum number of directors. So for suppose, yes, in case of private company, minimum only one director. In case of public company, minimum only one director. You can't lower minimum number of directors in case of by passing a special resolution in AOA. You can increase this maximum, but you can't decrease this minimum. Is it clear? Of course, section 8 company, this minimum number of directors, maximum number of directors restrictions are not applicable. You have read while you are reading section 8 company, privileges of section 8 company. Is it clear, Amma? So minimum how many directors? 1, 2, 3. And you know the status, sir, who can become a director? Option A, individual. Option B, company. Option A, individual. Option B, company. Answer is individual. A company being an artificial person, it cannot act on its own. Then why can you appoint a body corporate as your director? Why can you? So it requires a human agency. Human. Only natural persons can act as the directors. Of course, okay, na? They might be Indian residents, they might be Indian citizens or foreign citizens, but they should be resident in India. Okay, na, Andy? So citizenship is irrelevant to become the director. Residential status is important. Next one, Company to have a board of directors. Section 149 subsection 1 of the act provides that every company shall have a board of directors consisting of individuals as the directors. Types of the directors. So we are going to cover all these matters and the woman director, independent director, nominee director, managing director, whole time director, executive director, non-executive director, small shareholder director and first directors. So our topics, we are going to cover all these directors and now look at this chart and so directors are classified into two types and executive directors, non-executive directors. Executive directors, non-executive directors. Under executive directors, managing director, whole time director, they will come under executive directors and they are very important. Without them, company can't do the business. They are very, very important. Whole time director, managing director. Sir, who is a managing director? One who has substantial powers over the company. He is having a substantial powers and so board of directors lo andarkante ekku powers inike untayi. Whole time director, he is in whole time employment with the company. Coming to non-executive directors, they are not that much important compared to executive. They are also part of the board of directors, but even if they are absent, there is no problem for the survival of the company. Company can still do the business. Under non-executive directors also, there will be two types of directors and advisory directors. For example, the persons who completed age of some 70 years or 65 years, they can't work, they will not work, they will not do any work, they can't, they are not that much effective when compared to managing director, but they are efficient. Over a period of time, yes, they gain knowledge, they gain the skills, so they are efficient in making decisions. So they will advise the company, they will advise the directors how to do the business. So they can't handle the phone calls, they can't handle the projects, they can't, they can't do anything, but they can keep on advising the management, do this, do that, like that, advisory directors. And the second one comes is supervisory directors, supervisory directors. So their role is, they won't participate in day-to-day affairs of the company, they won't give any advice, but they will monitor, they will monitor whether company is complying all the rules and regulations or not, whether company is acting according to the interest of the bankers who financed them, like that. So under supervisory directors, again there will be two types of directors and independent director, non-independent director, independent director, non-independent director. So the person who is independent, we call him as independent director. Non-independent, non-independent. Okay. So we are having the definition of independent director and don't worry, we are going to discuss each and every aspect of it. So yes, in this chapter we are going to cover the topics called directors, their qualifications, disqualifications, appointment, tenure. So with that, we are going to complete this chapter. Very important chapter. You will definitely score 15 marks from the, you will definitely get 15 marks from this chapter. 15 marks. It's not easy one and getting 15 marks is not an easy one, but this chapter is very easy by reading simple, by putting simple efforts. So just revise, just read this chapter and ethics, that's it Andy. So directors and ethics, both these two chapters will definitely ask for some 27 marks. 27 marks, it's not a small number Andy. So out of 27, if you are able to score just 20 marks, balance 40 marks you can score from other chapters. So you have to read each and every question. Don't give choice. Don't take choice. Don't keep this chapter as a choice. Next one. Next one. We'll start with question number 3 and we'll start with question number 3. Write about different various types of the directors. Woman director. Woman director. Ma, if you are interested, read these kind of lines, Amma. If you are interested, read these kind of lines. My suggestion, even if you read, you can't remember, you can't reproduce them in examination. Like second proviso to section 149, subsection 1 read with rules 3 of companies. Rules 2014 provides that following classes of companies shall appoint at least one woman director. So simply applicability of woman director. If you are able to remember these provisos, you can. Okay, Nandi. So proviso is nothing but it looks like conditions and it looks like extra rules, extra conditions. Okay, na? Provision is like a general rule. Proviso is like an exception. Is an exception. Suppose provision states that you have to comply these rules. Proviso states that in the following cases, no need to comply those rules. Okay, na? Yes, yes. So women director applicability, women director applicability. So women director amma, the applicability is for all listed companies, for all listed companies without any limits of the paid up share capital, without any limits of turnover andi. Unlisted public companies, if that unlisted public company is satisfying any of these conditions is either paid up share capital or turnover. Paid up share capital 100 crores or more, or turnover 300 crores or more, in that case women director is applicable. And you know, yes, this section came into existence with effect from 1st April 2014. Yes, lawmaker is giving 1 year transitional period. 1 year transition period. So within 1 year after commencement of this section, you have to appoint women director. Okay, Nandi? So women director, so the logic behind is just women empowerment. That's it. So up to this section, up to implementation of this section, for example, if you take 2014 Reliance Industries annual report, 2013-14 in Reliance Industry annual report, you can find 14 directors. Out of 14 directors, there is no woman director. So subsequent to this section, yes, every listed company is appointing women directors. And suppose you are not a listed company, you are not a listed company, then unlisted company, yes, paid up share capital 100 crores or more, turnover 300 crores or more, then in that case, women director is mandatory. Now listen carefully to my question. Sir, there is a company called Titan Limited. Titan Limited. Securities listed on NSE BSE stock exchange and NSE BSE, National Stock Exchange, as well as Bombay Stock Exchange. Now my question is, yes, is Titan Limited, now my question is, Titan Limited ka turnover for example 90 crores and paid up share capital is just 5 crores. Tell me whether Titan Limited is required to have the women director or not. So women director applicable, women director is applicable or not? Yes ma, women director is applicable. Sir, the limits are within the 100 crores as well as 300 crores. No, why are you saying that yes, women director is applicable? See ma, the securities are listed on the NSE BSE. That means it's a listed company. Listed company is required to have one woman as a director in the board of directors. So in case of listed company, don't get deviated by seeing the limits. Listed company, irrespective of the limits, director, woman director is applicable. Woman director is applicable. Take a screenshot of it. Next one. See, you can find the same in the material also, Nandi. Sir, 100 crores, 300 crores. From where we are getting these figures, sir? Latest audited financial statements. Yes, we completed financial year 2019-20. These financial statements were audited. Now take these audited financial statements, check whether paid up share capital exceeded 100 crores, equal to 100 crores, a turnover equal to 300 crores or more. After that only proceed. Okay, Nandi? So vacancy, sir, in case of vacancy, suppose woman director, the role of woman director was vacated because of some disqualifications, because she resigned or company removed him. So might be anything, or that woman director died. So in case of any vacancy, immediately the board of directors should appoint one woman director. Within, what is the time limit, sir? Within 3 months of the vacancy. For example, sir, listen carefully. Appointment of women director was done on 1st October 2020. So what happened? On 15th January 2021, there is a casual vacancy of the women director, Now when this women director has to be appointed, sir? Suppose the next board meeting is going to be conducted on 15th March 2021. Or from here 3 months time period, no, that means 15th April 2021. So out of these 2 dates, whichever is later is the last date for appointment of the woman director. So when the next board meeting is conducted, the next board meeting was 15th March, or within 3 months from the vacancy. So whichever is later, you have to appoint the board of director. And okay, no? So you may ask, sir, obviously board meeting, if board of directors are not willing to conduct board meeting like that, if you ask me, then I can say this point. See, every company is required to conduct at least 4 board meetings in a year. Every company, except if the in case of one person company, because in one person company there might be minimum one director. In that case, board of directors meeting is not applicable. But in case of all other companies except OPC, they are required to have 4 board meetings. Of course, dormant company is also an exception. Okay, now but I am telling about normal companies, other private companies as well as public companies. Yes, they are required to conduct board meeting, every board meetings 4 in a year. 4 in a year. Okay, Nandi. Next one, the maximum gap between 2 board meetings, it should not exceed some 120 days. Like that provisions are there, Andy. So they are not relevant for you, but just understand these due dates, Andy. Understand the due dates. So vacancy should be filled up within 3 months of the casual vacancy or the next board meeting after vacancy. When are you going to conduct next board meeting? So whichever is the later is the time limit for appointment of the women director. Next concept, independent director. Now move on to question number 2. Explain the provisions relating to the independent director under Companies Act 2013. First of all, applicability, Andy. The independent director is not applicable to all the companies. This concept is applicable to only the companies which are satisfying the limits. Sir, what are those limits, sir? Listed company without any limits, listed company. Coming to unlisted public company. See, I am not telling about unlisted company. I am telling about unlisted public company. Unlisted public company. Are you all getting my point? So private companies, independent director is not applicable. Women director is not applicable to private company. For private company, independent as well as women directors are not applicable. Coming to unlisted public company, yes, the limits were 10, 100, 50. Remember, 10, 100, 50. Either 10 crores or more, or 100 crores or more, or 50 crores or more. 10 or 50 or 10 or 100 or more. Sir, what is this 10, 100, 50, sir? 10 is regarding paid up share capital. 100 is regarding turnover. 50 is regarding outstanding loans, debentures, deposits. Outstanding, not total and outstanding. So you have to verify these as per the latest audited financial statements. In this case, if these conditions are complete, then independent director is important. Independent director role is important. Sir, okay, sir, applicability it is very clear, but how many independent directors should be there? In case of women director, you said that at least 1 woman director, so minimum 1 woman director should be there. In case of independent directors, how many independent directors should be there? So okay, so here companies are classified into 2 types, listed company as well as unlisted combination public company. Unlisted public company. So companies, listed company, unlisted public company. In case if you are a listed company, at least 1/3 of total directors, should be independent directors. Suppose yes, my company board of directors are 15. So out of 15 into 1/3, that means 5 directors should be independent director. 5 directors should be independent director. You will get doubts. Sir, suppose in your company if there are 13 directors, then what is the position, sir? See, 13 into 1/3, it will come some 4.33. So now how many directors should be independent, sir? How many directors should be independent director? You may ask now. So you can round it off to 1, Sunday. You can round it off to 1, but you should not round it off to 4. You should round it off to 5. The reason is, just now I wrote here, at least 1/3, that means greater than or equal to 1/3. Suppose if you think 4, obviously 4 is less than 4.333, which is wrong. So there should be minimum 5 independent directors in the company. Suppose, yes, if there is 12 board of directors are there, then 12 into 1/3, you will get 4. Okay, 4, no problem. So, how many independent directors should there in a listed company, sir? 1/3 of the directors should be independent. Okay, sir. In case of unlisted company, see, unlisted company, there is no such proportionate and unlisted company, only one concept, that is minimum 2 independent directors. I don't know about your composition. I don't know how many directors are there in your company, whether 10, 12, 15 or some 6, 5, 4, 3. I don't know, but in your board there should be minimum 2 independent directors. So this is what applicability. We discussed about applicability as well as number. How many independent directors should there in the company? So applicability, all listed companies, and unlisted company satisfying any of the following limits: paid up share capital 10 crores or more, or turnover 100 crores or more, or outstanding loans, borrowings, debentures, deposits some 50 crores or more. Is it clear, Amma? Next one. For the following companies, there should be at least 2 independent directors. Yes, I said no, listed company, at least 1/3. Round it off to 1 another, not nearest one and next one. So if you get some 3.67, it is nothing but 4. If you get 3.11 also, it will be 4 and nearest one means next one. So paid up share capital 10 crores or more, turnover 100 crores or more. Next one. Public companies in aggregate outstanding loans, debentures, deposits exceeding 50 crores or more. So there should be minimum 2 independent directors in case of these companies. Next one, every listed company existing on or before the commencement of this act shall comply with the provisions of independent director within 1 year from such commencement of the act, Is it clear? So yes, the section was notified on 1st April 2014. So by 31st March 2015, you have to comply the independent directors concept. That means, sir, my company directors were 15 and I am having only 3 independent directors. No. That the independent director should be increased to 5. So you have to comply with the provisions. Yes, 1 year time period I am giving, Andy. Within 1 year you have to comply these provisions. So we call this as a transition period, Andy. TP, transition period. That means giving the time in order to comply the rules and regulations. So today I am framing the rule and I am asking to comply. It will be difficult. I need to give some time. So say for suppose 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, so that you will be prepared mentally in order to follow those rules and regulations like that. So next one, term independent director means. So now we are going to define about independent director. Sir, independent director. Who is an independent director? Who is an independent director? So we discussed, no need to discuss about women director. Who is women director? A woman who was appointed as a director to the board. Independent director. Now we are defining about independent director. Sima, follow. Independent director is a director other than MD, whole-time director or a nominee director. Other than MD or a whole-time director or a nominee director. So it is very clear that independent director is not a whole-time director, or he is not a managing director, or he is not a nominee director. So these 3 directors will never come under independent directors. Okay. So other than these 3, next we are going to discuss, Andy. In the opinion of board, he is a person of integrity. That means honesty. A possess relevant expertise. Some qualifications and experience, work experience. There is no instrument to measure the level of honesty, Andy, but I can surely tell that, sir, this person so far he has not committed any fraud, he has not committed any scams. So we can tell that that person is of integrity. That means you are a man of integrity, I am also a man of integrity. Next one, possess relevant expertise. How can we prove that he is relevant? He is a person of expertise. Simply check his qualifications. Sir, he is holding a MBA finance. He's a MBA graduate, MBA marketing, or he's an MBA, or he's a qualified chartered accountant or cost accountant advocate. Okay, Nandi? So he's an engineer, valuer. So based on the expert qualification, you can decide the expertise and experience. So for how many years he's working in the field? So experience, number of years he's working, Andy. So yes, board will decide, not members, not you, not me. Board will decide. So honesty, expertise and experience. Next one, he should not be a promoter of the cash companies. He should not be a promoter of the cash companies. Sir, what is meant by cash, sir? C for our company, A for associate company, S for subsidiary company, H for holding company. So in the entire group, Andy, group of cash, see, our company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company. In our entire group, he should not be a promoter. Best example. Tata Sons Private Limited is a company, is a ultimate holding company of all Tata companies. Tata Sons Private Limited is having TCS subsidiary, Titan as a subsidiary. Okay, just sufficient, and Mr. Ratan Tata ji, for example, he is the promoter of Tata Sons Private Limited. Now, can you appoint Ratan Tata as an independent director to this Titan sir? Ante no, because he is a promoter to our holding company. Therefore, in the entire group, he loses the qualification of independent director. In the entire group, he cannot act as an independent director. So, he should not be promoter in the cash companies. Cash means C for company, A for associate company, S for subsidiary, H for holding company. And he shall not relate to the promoters or directors in the company, its holding company, subsidiary or associate company. He shall not relate to the promoters or directors. For example, if you take Reliance Industry Limited, yes, Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani is the promoter of this company Now my question, sir, can Neetu Ambani, the wife of Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani, Leda son and Akash Ambani, can they people act as independent director to Reliance Industry Limited? No. The reason is the relative was the promoter of the company, the relative was director of the company. Not only to our company, to its holding company, to its subsidiary company, to its associate company. That means in all four companies, the relatives of promoters and directors are disqualified to act as an independent directors. Cash. He shall not have any pecuniary interest with the company or the promoters or directors during two immediately preceding financial years or during the current financial year. Now listen carefully. The discussion is went up to not only the company directors and so pecuniary relationship. Sir, what is meant by pecuniary relationship? Yes, some kind of monetary relationship with the company. For example, listen carefully. Take example of Reliance Industry Limited. I'm a qualified chartered accountant, In addition to this chartered accountancy profession, I'm also running the business. The business is Reliance Digital. It is somewhere connected. It is somehow connected with Reliance Industry Limited. So Andhra Pradesh Reliance Digital franchisee was taken by me from this company. I took Reliance franchise, or I took a Reliance petrol bunk. Whenever I want the stock, I'm paying the money and I'm getting the stock. I'm not purchasing on credit basis. I'm paying the money, I'm purchasing the goods. So I'm having some kind of relationship with the company. Pecuniary relationship. Yes, suppose if I was appointed as an independent director to this company, definitely suppose my role was to observe compliance procedures. If any rule was not complied, now I should report to the board of directors, other directors, I should report to the members, I should report to the government. I'm ready to report it, and meanwhile company came to me and company directors came to me and they said, if you report, Andhra Pradesh franchisee will be terminated. So with you the Andhra Pradesh franchise will be terminated and it will be given to some other person. Now tell me, how can I be independent? So how can I act as an independent to this company? So that's the reason. So if the proposed person should not have any kind of pecuniary relationship with the company, with the company, next promoters as well as directors. Even if I have a relationship with the Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani, or even if I had a relationship with Neeta Ambani, women director of the company, yes, in those cases I'll be disqualified to act as an independent director. Next one. He shall not have a pecuniary relationship. Sima, such kind of relationship, I forgot to tell, such kind of relationship, I should not possess such kind of relationship in the current year as well as two preceding financial years. Suppose that means in 2020-21 they want to appoint me as an independent director. In that case, I should not have any pecuniary relationship in 2020-21 as well as preceding 2 years, 2019-20 and 2018-19 also. I should not have any pecuniary relationship in these 3 years. The next one, his relatives. Next one, yes, the proposed person. Now I proposed person completed. My relatives shall not have any pecuniary relationship with the company or their promoters or directors amounting to 2% of the gross turnover, gross turnover of or total income or rupees 50 lakhs, whichever is lower during the two immediately preceding financial years. Immediately during the preceding financial year 2 preceding financial years and the current financial year. That means here also current year plus 2 preceding financial years. Same topic, same topic. But here, so next one, not only me Andy, but also my relatives. So that means observe it. Suppose with Reliance Industries Limited or Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani promoter or Neeta Ambani director. I am writing these 3 people names and the company, promoter, director. With these 3 people, suppose if my relatives enter into any contract, any kind of, there should be no pecuniary transactions with my relatives, between my relatives, the relatives of R of V, relatives of me and these 3 people. Then only I am eligible to act as an independent director for Reliance Industries Limited. But here there is a limit and they prescribe the limit. Definitely in today one is going to purchase goods from many people. So definitely yes, in business your relatives or non-relatives it will not be there and so that's the reason here there is some limit. The limit is, suppose if it is the pecuniary relationship is less than 2%, the limit is less than 2% of gross turnover or total income of the company or rupees 50 lakhs, whichever is less actually. So okay, now listen carefully. If these limits was not crossed, then no problem. So Reliance Industries Limited total turnover was some 4 lakh crores. Assume that 4 lakh crores. 4 lakh crores into 2%. Obviously some 8,000 crores. Are you all getting my words, Andy? So yes, the relationship between the company, promoters, directors and the relatives of me, you have to verify it. So whichever is lower. That means Sima, one day my relative of the firm, he was engaged in a advocate services. So he is an LLB and so he is holding a LLB degree. So he is providing some consultancy services to the firm. And he charged fees of rupees 25 lakhs. No problem, it is within the limit. Yes, I won't be disqualified. I will be qualified to act as a director, independent director to the company. And next one, he or his relatives, that means person or his relatives, that means I or my relatives holds or has held the position of KMP, key managerial personnel. So who will come under KMP, sir? Sima, following persons: managing director, manager, whole-time director, company secretary, CEO, CFO. Okay, any person who is next level, immediately next level to the board of directors but designated with KMP. And next one, such other persons as may be prescribed. That means if I or my relatives fall in this category of KMP, then I will be disqualified. So held the position of KMP or he has been held by the company or its holding company or associate company in any of the 3 years. 3 years, not only. So one word is missing. He or his relatives shall not hold not only during the current year and but 3 financial years, 3 preceding financial years. Next one, he is or has not been, is not or has not been employee. This is also not. So you should not possess this qualification only. He is or not has not been an employee or proprietor or partner in any of the 3 financial years immediately preceding the financial year in which he is proposed to be appointed. So the person who want to become an independent director, he should not be employee as well as proprietor or partner with this company, with the company. And suppose I and Reliance Industries Limited started a venture and so Mr. Messrs. So V means I, R means Reliance Industries Limited, VR Ventures. In this partnership firm, I am the partner. No, I can't act as an independent director to the Reliance Industries Limited. Next one. A firm of auditors or company secretaries in practice or cost auditors of the company, not of the subsidiary, not of the associate. And so listen carefully. So to the Reliance Industries Limited, yes, my firm, for example, V Chartered Accountants is an auditor to Reliance Industries Limited. In that case, suppose my VCA, V Chartered Accountants are containing some 3 partners for example, Mr. V, Mr. G as well as Mr. M, VGM. Now these three persons, even though they possess expertise, knowledge, even though they possess experience, even though they possess integrity, they are disqualified to act as an independent director, because it is already stands in the position of company auditor position, company auditor. So disqualified. So what am I? Disqualified. Next one. Or any legal or any consulting firm that has had any transaction with the company amounting to 10% or more of the gross turnover of such firm. See, all these are should not. Any legal consulting firm, these are all the disqualification. What is this disqualification refers to? See, suppose this times my friend, my close friend, yes, he is Mr. N. He is Mr. N. He is a company secretary, or he is an LLB and he is an LLB advocate. So he is providing some consultancy services. He is not I am talking about a direct person and I am not talking about relative. So relative of the person is covered above. Pecuniary relationship, relative of the person was covered above and but here the direct person, he is providing some advices to Reliance Industries Limited. So this N is earning, yearly N is earning some 10 crores and 10 crores. His receipts, gross receipts from the profession is 10 crores. Now the point is, he is also providing legal consultancy services to Reliance Industries Limited, for which he is getting some 50 lakhs as a remuneration. Now 50 lakhs out of 10 crores is just 5%, no problem. N is eligible to act as an independent director to Reliance Industries Limited. Suppose sir, if the fees is either 1 crore or more, that means greater than or equal to 10%, now Mr. N is disqualified to act as an independent director to the Reliance Industries Limited. Reliance Industries Limited. Is it clear? Next one. Holds together with his relatives whether 2% or total voting power of the company. This is also, you should not possess these qualifications and so 2% of the voting power of the company, either he or his relative together, and you have to combine. So me some 55%, sorry, some 0.75%, my wife 0.25%, my relatives some 1%. Now put together it will get 2%. And so if me and my directors, my family members, my relatives are having 2% of the voting power in this company, then I am disqualified. Listen carefully. In TCS or in Tata Sons Private Limited, we are having 2% of the voting power. Am I eligible to act as an independent director in Titan? Yes, because here only company was given, not cash companies. C, associate, a subsidiary, holding, it's not like that. It's only C. That means in our company only. Next one is not a CEO or director of any non-profit organization that receives 20% of the more of its receipts from the company, and any of its promoters, directors, or its holding company, subsidiary company, or that holds associate company that holds 2% or more of the total voting power of the company. So the point here is I'm running a non-profit organization and NPO for the public, and for this non-profit organization I was appointed as CEO. So in this non-profit organization is receiving donations from various companies and from various individuals as well as partnership firms as well as companies and suppose yes, from TCS also we are getting some donations and assume that yes, TCS is making a donation of some 50 lakhs every year. 50 lakhs. TCS is making donation of 50 lakhs and now what are the total collections for NPO, non-profit organization? Total collections was 10 crores and so out of 10 crores, this 50 lakhs is just 5%. No problem, Mr. We can continue. We can be appointed as an independent director. Suppose from Reliance Industries Limited, yes, some 3 crores was from Reliance Industries Limited is giving 3 crores donations to this non-profit organization. How much amount? That means 30%. Now can Mr. V, who is the CEO of non-profit organization, can act as an independent director to the Reliance Industries Limited? No. Mr. V is disqualified to act as an independent director. Because from this company we are getting more than 25% of the total donations and yes, so Reliance Industries is giving 3 crores and to the non-profit organization. So total collections of non-profit organization is 10 crores. That means 30% is coming from Reliance Industries Limited. Independence gets affected because if I act anything, if my activity is something which is opposite to which is against to the Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani, definitely he will stop contributing the money. He will stop contributing the money. Yes or no? If you stop contributing money to the my non-profit organization, it can't do activities. So that's the reason, since I will always act in favor of Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani. Thereby, independency becomes dependency. So that's the reason I'm disqualified. Next one, who poses such other disqualifications? Who poses such other disqualifications as may be prescribed? As may be prescribed. So some printing error is there. So I'm already telling, from F point onwards, it is not. The word not is missing and okay, no? Or like, you can say like this, possessing some disqualifications. Possessing some disqualifications. This error is there in study material also, but I am rectifying, no? You just observe it. Next one, tenure. Sir, how long independent director will hold the office, sir? How long the independent director will hold the office? Suppose independent director was appointed in the financial year 2020-21. Once if he is appointed, his tenure will be 5 years and 5 years non-stop, unless he die, unless he resigns, unless company removes him. So 1 term of 5 years, that doesn't mean no one will remove him or he can't resign. He may resign, or board of directors or company may remove him from the post of independent director, okay. But if no removal, no vacancy comes, then 1 term of 5 years. He is not subject to rotation and he is not subject to retire by rotation. What is this retire by rotation? I'll explain a bit later. So once his appointment was done, 1 term of 5 years will be his office and that means up to financial year 2024-25. 5 years and so you can calculate 2021, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Sir, can he eligible for reappointment? Yes, 1 more term and then also 5 years. But for reappointment, special resolution at general meeting is required. If members by passing special resolution appoint him as a independent director for next time, then such appointment will be valid. But once reappointment was done, that means after completion of 10 years, he should vacate his office and so cooling period, we call it as cooling period. So cooling period of 3 years and so next 3 years he is not allowed to act as an independent director for that company. So 3 years cooling period will be given. After completion of 3 years, again he if he is willing to continue as a director, yes, he can file an application with company. Now board of directors, if they think that the person is of integrity, possess relevant expertise, possess experience, then board of directors once again they consider. So that means 5 years generally, but after passing special resolution 1 more 5 years, but after completion of 10 years, some 3 years gap should be provided and after completion of 3 years, again you are eligible for 1 term of 5 years, next term 5 years again by passing special resolution, again 3 years cooling period will be provided. Next one, so no independent director shall hold office for more than 2 consecutive terms. He shall be eligible for appointment after expiration of 3 years, after the expiration of 3 years. So once 3 years completed, that is cooling period is completed, then he is eligible to act as an independent director. And so retirement of directors is not applicable to the independent director. So what is this retirement of director? I'll explain a little bit later. The appointment of independent director shall be approved by company in general meeting. When a reappointment as well as appointment should be approved by members in general meeting. So what kind of resolution? It's a board of directors wish. If they want special resolution, special resolution. If they think ordinary resolution, ordinary resolution. But reappointment of independent director requires a special resolution. Appointment of independent director or reappointment of independent director, yes sir. So with this independent director completed and next third point is a nominee director. So nominee director. A nominee director means a director nominated by any financial institution in pursuance of provisions of any law for the time being in force or of any agreement or appointed by the government or any other person to represent its interests. I'll explain it. So nominee director. So who can nominate a director, sir? Nominee director. See, the name itself suggests that nominee. My nominee. Nominee means my representative. Okay, now see, it's not my agent, Andy. I'm nominating one person to act as a director in the company. So who can nominate, sir? Who can nominate a director? Who can nominate a director? The following people, Andy. Sir, who are the following people? Seema. The following people. So bank or financial institutions, central government or state government, or any person can nominate. Sir, why they will nominate, sir? The reason, in order to protect their interest. For example, State Bank of India is a major financer to my company, V Industries Limited. SBI is a major financer, and suppose the V Industries Limited is approximately having some 600 crores loans from SBI. The total loans of the V Industries Limited is 1000 crores. Out of 1000 crores, SBI gave 600 crores and 600 crores loan. So major creditor, major banker. Now SBI is obviously worried about this company. If this company do some wrong things, definitely this 600 crores funds, it is going to lose 600 crores funds. Same like Vijay Mallya company, Kingfisher. What happened? You already know. 9,000 crores and 16 banks gave some 7,000 crores loans to the Vijay Mallya company. So what happened, Vijay Mallya? What happened? You already know the story. So he spent a huge expenditure on flights, but he collected very nominal amount. In order to attract the customers, he collected low fares, and in order to reduce the competition, he collected the A-class technology, but with a cheap rate. Because of that, company can't perform well, company is unable to generate the revenue, liquidity problem. Finally, Vijay Mallya is not in a position to clear the debts. He is having assets, but he is unable to pay the amount. Liquidity problem. Finally, what happened? It became non-performing assets. So same like that. SBI is also worried like that. Recently Kingfisher happened. Of course, V Industries Limited is a strong company. It never ever become insolvent, but in order to protect their interests. So SBI, it will say, sir, we are an outsider, we are a financer, we are an outsider, we don't know what is happening inside the company. But our interest is there in your company, so we will nominate a person as a director in your company. So now what V Industries Limited will do? It will conduct board meeting. So by passing board resolution, yes, the nominated person will be appointed as a director. Now we call that nominated person as nominee director. Okay, Nandi. Who will appoint nominee director, Andy? Board of directors by passing board resolution in board meeting. Is it clear? Next one. So nominee director comes to an end. So nominee director is also not subject to the retire by rotation, and next one, managing director. So just now we discussed about managing director. So managing director is having a substantial powers over the company, and so section 2 clause 54 defines the term managing director as a director who by virtue of its articles of a company or an agreement with the company or by resolution passed in the general meeting or by board of directors is entrusted with the substantial powers of the management of the affairs of the company, and includes a director occupying the position of MD, whatever the name called. Seema, who is going to appoint managing director? How managing director comes into picture? First one, by way of articles of association. The second one is, so in case of articles of association, if you write Mr. A is a managing director, he will be the managing director. And the second one is agreement with company and the director. Agreement between company and director. And third one is members resolution. Fourth one is board resolution. So in these four ways, managing director comes into picture, and by way of articles of association, you can have a managing director, or the agreement between company and the director. So yes, that agreement was approved by either board of directors or members, stating that this director will be the managing director, that director will become managing director. Seema, AOA articles of association. Next one, AOA articles of association. Next one, agreement between company and directors. Members resolution. board resolution, members resolution as well as board resolution. Is it clear? So he is having substantial powers. That means compared to other directors, he is having more powers. And next one, whole-time director who is in whole-time employment. The director who is in whole-time employment of the company, we can call him as whole-time director. Next one, small shareholder director. Small shareholder director. So before discussing about small shareholder director, we will discuss about small shareholder. Sir, who is the small shareholder? How we can measure? So using height, weight. So after checking the height, we got to know that he is very small, sir. After checking the weight, he is very small, sir. That's why we are calling the small shareholder. No, it's not like that. Small shareholder director means director representing small shareholders. Then who is a small shareholder? See ma, the shareholder if he is holding face value of securities 20,000 or less. 20,000 or less. Not more than rupees 20,000 or such other sum as may be prescribed. So far not yet prescribed, Andy. So 20,000 is the limit. So 20,000 or less. If I am holding some shares 20,000 or less, I'll be treated as a small shareholder. I'll be treated as small shareholder. Now, like me, there are many shareholders, Andy. Yes, a small shareholder means a shareholder holding shares of nominal value of not less than 20,000. So yes, definitely listed companies will have such kind of small shareholders, and see, this concept is applicable only to the listed company. That is, this is not mandatory concept. This is just optional concept. A listed company may have one director elected by small shareholders in order to protect minority interests. That's it. The logic behind small shareholder director is to protect minority interest. Minority interest. In order to protect minority interest, this concept was taken, and so listed company may have one director elected by small shareholders. May have one director. So small shareholders and into meeku telisindi, holding face value of securities 20,000 or less. We call them as small shareholders. Now a person representing all these small shareholders, if he was appointed to the board, now that person is known as small shareholder director, and listed companies will have this concept. Listen carefully, the small shareholder is applicable only if, small shareholder director is applicable only if in the following two situations in a listed company. What are those two situations? Listed company on suo motu basis may ask small shareholders to have one director. Or if 1/10 of the small shareholders or 1,000 small shareholders, I am speaking about 1/10 of the small shareholders. So total shareholders were, for example, 1 lakh. 1/10 of 1 lakh, that is equal to either 10,000 or 1,000, whichever is lower. Anything, any condition satisfied, no problem. Condition A, 1/10 of total small shareholders, 1/10 of total small shareholders, or 1,000 small shareholders. If they write notice to the company stating that yes, board should contain a person represented by us, board should contain a director who was represented by us. In that case, that listed company should appoint small shareholder director. Suppose if listed company is silent and small shareholders also, they are not asking a company to have a small shareholder director, then no need. See, Rule 7 states that a listed company may, upon notice of not less than 1,000 small shareholders or 1/10 of total number of such shareholders, that means writing in a condition 1/10 of SSD, SSH, small shareholders, or B వచ్చేసరికి 1,000 small shareholders. Whatever condition is satisfied, okay, whichever is lower, whatever the condition. So 1/10 of small shareholders 10,000 or 1,000, whichever is lower 1,000. So 1,000 small shareholders may give a notice in writing to the company. Such directors shall not be liable to retire by rotation. I'll explain retire by rotation, don't worry. The tenure shall not exceed a period of 3 consecutive years, and on the expiry of tenure, such directors shall not be eligible for reappointment. Lifetime, no reappointment is possible. So like managing director, reappointment of small shareholder director is not there. His tenure was 3 years. After completion of 3 years, no. In his entire life, he cannot become small shareholder director to that company. A disqualified person for the appointment of director shall not be eligible for such appointment. So if a director was disqualified, If any person was disqualified to act as a director, you can't nominate that person or you can't appoint that person as a small shareholder director. Next one, no person shall now hold the position of small shareholder director in more than 2 companies at same time. So yes, if Mr. V wants to be appointed as a small shareholder director, yes, he can do. But maximum at a time I can act as a small shareholder director in 2 companies. Suppose today I was appointed in A company, B company as a small shareholder director. Now I'm not eligible to act as a small shareholder director in C, D, E, F companies. After completion of tenure of A company, B company, once if I step out, now I'm eligible to act as a small shareholder director for remaining companies. Suppose C as well as D. So maximum I can act as a small shareholder director for only 2 companies. Next one, a small shareholder director shall not for a period of 3 years from the date on which he ceases to hold the office as a small shareholder director in a company can be appointed in or associated with such company in any other capacity, that directly or indirectly. You have to understand this point. Listen carefully, ma. Suppose on 1st April 2020 I was appointed as small shareholder director to Reliance Industry Limited. My tenure will be up to 31st March 2023. 2023. Okay na andi? So after completion of my tenure also, next 3 years, that is up to 31st March 2026, I should not be connected with the company. No connection with the company. Either directly or indirectly. So I should not hold any position, Andy. So the next 3 years I should come out of it. I should not act as a manager. I should not act as a company secretary to that company. Okay, Andy. So you should not hold any position in that company for the period between 31st March 2023 to 31st March 2026. And during this period, I can hold a SSD in one more company, plus one company. And not eligible for reappointment. So with this, small shareholder director concept also completed.